Folks, welcome back to Real Estate Radio on News Talk 105.7 and 540 KMLB, brought to you by Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Veranda Realty, 214 Expo Circle. We're in suite number 3, West Monroe, Louisiana, 71292. Our telephone number is area code 318-325-1869. We're licensed in the great state of Louisiana, and each office is independently owned and operated. For all your real estate needs, please contact us. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Veranda Realty, 318-325-1869. We sell, list, lease. We do it all. We sell any kind of real estate that you have, residential, income, commercial, land, lots, whatever it is, we can meet your needs in the real estate business. In our area, we have many great entities that help and assist us in making life better in Northeast Louisiana. For over 65 years, United Way of Northeast Louisiana has been a unifying force for passionate individuals, businesses, government entities, and nonprofits to effectively create positive and lasting change, improve lives, and build a stronger community. We accomplish this by mobilizing partners and resources throughout the 12-parish region in a united effort to identify and respond to our community's most critical needs. That's the United Way, Northeast Louisiana. Kim, Meghan, what does it mean? Tell me what does it mean for us to live united here in Northeast Louisiana?
Well, Kevin, I think when I think about living united, I think of people coming together to create lasting change, people that give themselves to their community and for their community, that want to come together and make a change, and positive change in our community.
Mm-hmm. Kim, you mentioned community, and I know we had a meeting a few weeks ago over at Coca-Cola, and the United Way group was there. And one of the things that kept coming out, and there's a lot of volunteers there, giving back. I know I've been very blessed by the people in this community. This is where I've lived for most of my life. I was born and raised here. I moved and came back, but one of the things you realize is who you are is a product of the people that you live with, and it is good to give something back. And I read here in your report that there's 1,100 volunteers and over 7,500 donors. Isn't that great to see people in the community? We're not talking about some entity out someplace. These are people in our community that give financially and of their time to help other people. True?
Absolutely. So one thing that I love most about United Way and what drew me to United Way whenever I first came on board was just the collective effort of everybody in the community. These are your bankers, your educators, your, sanitation workers, city employees, factory workers, everyone coming together to make a difference in the lives of their neighbors and the people that make up this community.
Couldn't have said it better, Meghan. And look, we're in a world as Odom, Georgia. Folks, Meghan's from Odom, Georgia. And she was saying go Bulldogs this morning. I thought she was talking about Tech. Rick Gale, if you're listening, she wasn't talking about Tech. She was talking about Georgia. So.
Georgia Bulldogs. So Odom, Georgia is a little tiny map dot of a town about an hour and a half from Savannah. So I'm all the way down in southeast Georgia, and all my family's still there, most of my family and grandparents still there, and it's a great place.
How did you end up here?
Long story, more than we have time for. But essentially, I married a Mississippi boy, and we settled here in Northeast Louisiana and are raising our family, and, the Monroe area is home.
That's great. We're glad to have you, Meghan. Thank you. Now, Kim, when we visited before the show, you are basically the manager, and you correct me if I got the title wrong, of the 211, the 211. Tell the folks what 211 is, because there's a lot of folks out there that may know somebody or be in a position where they need some help. What is 211? Tell the folks what that is.
Right. 211 is an easy-to-remember number that people can call to get connected to services in the community. If you need help in the community, you can call 211. If you need information from the community, you can call 211. We have lots of varieties of ways to connect with it. You can call the number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even on Christmas Day, you're going to talk to a live person to get you connected to 211.
Kim, before we get into some of the specifics of 211, I'm going to go down the brochure here and let both of you talk about what we do or what you guys do. But, Meghan, you talked about the collective effort, everyone from sanitation workers to bank presidents and CEOs. That's something that's really impressed me. A lot of folks don't just give their valuable time to the United Way. They give their resources, and there's a lot of folks that at their work they have money taken out of their check to give back. And I'm going to be very careful about what I say, and normally I'm not. So, but because you two are here, I'm going to tiptoe around what I would say if you weren't here. But for years, since the 60s, the government has thrown money at problems, and what usually happens is a lot of the money doesn't go where it needs to go. But the thing I love about your organization is it's hands-on, but it's not really a handout, is it? It's a hand up. It's trying to get folks to the next step so they can do for themselves. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. That's absolutely what United Way does. And so there are so many ways to get involved. You know, for people, like you mentioned, the payroll deduction through workplace campaigns. So people can give through a workplace campaign. It unites and inspires employees. It gives them a unique opportunity to contribute to these, great causes in our community. And that's a very intentional funding process. I'll let Kim speak to that.
So most people don't know this, but our funding process and the way we put money into the community is through volunteers. It's volunteer-led, volunteer-driven. The United Way staff does not make those decisions. We pull together knowledgeable expertise in the community, and those volunteers take a look at the needs in the community, what needs to be addressed, where there's gaps in the needs in the community to help provide that funding and make those funding decisions.
And you know what, Kim, you hit on that too, because I want to say this. I know it's volunteer-led, but I got to say this. You've got to have folks at the United Way level that keep everything balanced, and that's what you ladies do. And I know you have a great staff over there. I know, and I appreciate the fact that you recognize the volunteers, but we couldn't do it without you. Now, let's go into some of the things. I'm just going to read off the brochure. It says, do you know someone caring for their grandchildren or other relatives' children? It says here 65,000 Louisiana children live with relatives other than their parents. United Way NELA 211 has partnered with Louisiana Department of Children and Family Services on a new way for these kinship caregivers to find resources in their community. So if somebody out there is taking care of a child that it may be their grandchild or a niece or nephew or just a friend, what can they get, Kim or Meghan? What can they get from your 211 service to help them there?
So they can get all types of resources. Sometimes when you take in a grandchild or another family member, you might not know where to go, where to begin. If you call 211, they can direct you into the ways that could help you provide services. Not only is it a monetary thing that becomes an issue when that happens, but it's also other things. Caregiving, counseling may be needed. 211 can point you in that direction of what you need. You can call 211, tell them what you need. They'll listen to you and send you in the best direction.
So they're basically going to take your call and send you to the place of the organization that's going to be able to give you some help. You know, what I love about that, and you said something about counseling. Now, I know a lot of us guys, we think we're too tough for counseling. Okay? Forget that. Okay? Everybody has a period of time they need some kind of counseling to get through something they're going through. Guys, you need it probably more than the ladies do. I know that I've had that in the past, and it's not weakness. It's strength, actually, to admit you need help. What about food insecurity? We have a lot of older adults, low-income families, and folks that can't leave home and get the information. Tell us, what kind of help do they get with food insecurity? That really bothers me that people don't have enough to eat.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that I love the most about 211 is that it is that single access point. So a lot of times we get callers who, maybe it's a veteran or just an elderly person or whoever, and they don't necessarily know exactly what they need. They don't know where to turn or where to begin. So 211 is that call that they can make, speaking to a trained specialist who can help, identify the root causes of a problem and maybe address needs that they didn't even realize were needs that could be addressed. And food insecurity is one of those. Maybe, someone calls with an issue of food insecurity, and the root cause is that they had to pay for their medicine, and that was their food budget. So, there are resources to help with that as well. So those 211 specialists can help identify those causes that maybe aren't even known at the point of the call.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Megan. One of the things that has always, even when I was a young person, I guess, bothered me, even as a child, and I wasn't rich by any means, but I had great parents, and I had plenty. I had enough, and I never wanted for anything. But what partnerships do you have? Do you partner with certain organizations here as far as food insecurity?
Absolutely. Not only does 211 have food resources that people can call to 211 to get those connections and know where to go and how to get it, but United Way also partners with agencies throughout the community, throughout Northeast Louisiana, that help provide those food services. The Food Bank is a great example. The Food Bank of Northeast Louisiana is a place that we do referrals for 211, but we also they're one of our partner programs that we fund.
Kim, I'm glad you brought that up because the food bank is always in need. I know with the pandemic and people not being able to work, they were pretty much gutted, I think. A lot of food was used and still needed. I know that, and folks, you can do this. You can volunteer at the food bank. You can stock the boxes or money. Money always helps, that they will find ways to get more food to people. But, we did a deal within our company a few years ago. A lady named Sandy Winters, who good friend of mine who works with us at Better Homes and Gardens, signed us up to go over to the food bank. Well, you had to put, I think, so many cans, like 25 cans a box, and they'd weigh them and all. Well, I couldn't stand it. Even though I'm old and all, I was still competitive. So I tried to stock my boxes faster than everybody else, and I did it to a degree. I don't think my back's gotten over it yet, and that was about 3 or 4 years ago. But, folks, I tell you, when you see the need, it is incredible. I know that my wife worked with CASA in years past, and when you see the needs out there, they're real. These are real people. And look, I know that there's situations where people don't do what they should. I get that. There are programs that seem to go more to the bureaucracy than the people. But these are real people that have real needs. And when you think about kids not having enough to eat, that'll keep you up at night. So I'm glad you. So how would I'm gonna. This is off script, but how would somebody help in the food insecurity at the food insecurity level? Do they give the United Way Food Bank? Just anything you can tell us.
Well, I think those are great choices that you just gave, but I also think that they can call 211, ask to speak to our volunteer engagement manager, and be connected to different resources in the community. You were talking about volunteering at the food bank. What United Way does with Volunteer United is connects people to all of the different special resources across the community and be able to connect them to the agencies that they may have a passion for, the things they might. You have a passion for food insecurity. Some people may have a passion for other things. Volunteer United is able to customize a volunteer experience for those people and get them involved in the community.
Thank you, Kim. And I think, Megan, you have somebody you can contact for that.
Absolutely. So if your group or company has a volunteer project in mind, or you have, an idea for a custom project, all you have to do is reach out to 211. Just dial 211, text your zip code to 898-211. We have that texting option, which is awesome. Or you can just contact Jessica Hughes, who's our Volunteer United manager, and she can be reached by email, jhughes@unitedwaynela.org. But again, the easiest way, the single access point is always just to call 211.
Well, and Kevin, I want to add on to there, just a great example of one of those 211 Volunteer United projects is a project that we're working on right now in Northeast Louisiana with the Northeast Louisiana Realtors Association. We are partnering with the Realtor Association to collect fans for the 12 parishes in Northeast Louisiana. So we're so thankful for that opportunity, and that's just one of the ways that we're able to give back to the community.
Kim, I'm glad you brought that up. I knew about it, and the ladies reminded me about it again this morning. Of course, with my severe attention deficit disorder, it's very possible I would have skipped it. But I'm glad you brought it up, Kim, because I got the email from our association executive, Alice Clark. She does a great job over there and has for many years. She sent the email to me I sent it to our company. Dustin sent it out to everybody, and my challenge was to our offices: let's win. Let's bring more fans to the association. You know, we think about fans, and you know, we don't probably don't even have box fans. I was raised on box fans because we didn't have a window unit until I was in second grade. I thought an attic fan was air conditioning and loved it, quite frankly. I never slept with the windows closed in the summer for a long time. So in second grade, I got a window unit. And but I remember back going to my grandparents and the same deal. They'd push the windows up and roll the box fans. There are people, as we approach the 100-degree weather, they don't have the basics that we take so for granted. Is that true?
Absolutely. And this is, you know, like Kim said, just an opportunity, one example of a great opportunity of how United Way is, you know, reaching out for this collective effort to help the community. But, yeah, there are people with needs that, you know, we take for granted.
No doubt about it. I'm so glad we're partnering with you in that. Folks, if you are in the realty business, if you're a member of the Northeast Louisiana Association of Realtors, I'm going to challenge you right now. Individually, if 700 realtors bring one fan each, that's 700 people that are going to be helped. 750 people. I mean, so bring a fan, bring it over to the Northeast Louisiana Association of Realtors at 1010 Stubbs, and what a great partnership. Thank you guys for doing, or you ladies, that is, for doing that. Folks, this is a good point for a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about housing instability, the opioid crisis, and how United Way is helping us to alleviate that. We'll be right back.
Home team, home cooking, and the joy of being homeward bound. The best things in life start with home, and there's no one more trusted than Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate to help move into the right home or move on from your current home. Expect better. Start by calling or contacting
Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Veranda Realty. Call us today at 325-1869.
An independently owned and operated franchise.
Considering a career in real estate? The Burke Baker School of Real Estate and Appraising can get you on your way to a new career. Burke Baker has been a certified instructor since 1977 and has been the owner of the Burke Baker School of Real Estate and Appraising since 1981. Quality instruction, competitive pricing, and an overall rating second to none. The Burke Baker School of Real Estate and Appraising, 1-800-222-3295.
You got a friend in the title business, a loyal friend who's always there. You got a friend who understands your need for excellence and care. Protecting your interests, the nation's fast and fair. Full dog title insurance, when you need us, we'll be there.
Susie Dart Loan is at Eagle Bank Mortgage right here in Monroe, Louisiana. Looking for someone to make your next home loan? Start with someone you have learned to trust over the years. Susie Dart Loan. The same service, the same experience, the same people, and all the same loan experience. Eagle Bank Mortgage processes, closes, and underwrites all of their loans right here in Monroe. Equal housing lender, NMLS 410317. All loans subject to approval, including credit approval. Some restrictions may apply. Other programs available. And program conditions subject to change without notice. Susie Dart Loan. NMLS 419413. Call Susie Dart Loan at 460-7727.
Folks, welcome back to Real Estate Radio on News Talk 105.7 and 540 KMLB. Brought to you by Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Veranda Realty, West Monroe, Louisiana, 71292. Our telephone number is area code 318-325-1869. We're licensed in Louisiana, and drum roll, please. Each office is independently owned and operated. I want to ask this question. Kim Lowery and Meghan Jones from the United Way are here. I just want to ask a question about my intro. When I said that each Better Homes and Gardens real estate office is independently owned and operated, didn't that give you like a sense of peace that'll help you sleep better this weekend? I say that I finally get a guest to ask, okay? I say that every week, and I've not explained exactly why I take that approach, but one of these days, maybe by year 3, I'll tell you why. Sorry to be sarcastic, but I'm just being sarcastic. Kim's looking at me. This dude is crazy, and you're right.
No, actually, I don't think you're crazy. I think that is a good way to lead into that every United Way is independent of each other and individually run. It's not run throughout, just like the realtors. United Ways are independent, have their independent local boards. We're run by a group of volunteers right here in Northeast Louisiana.
Kim, Lowery just hit a grand slam out of the park. And look, I'd love to say that was planned, folks, but many of the great things are very unplanned. I'm not smart enough to do that. I told JR earlier, I said we're going to be outnumbered here, even though it's 2-on-2. You ladies are much smarter than us. But, Kim, I'm glad you said that because let me say something. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm going to now. A couple of years ago, I went on a call with a United Way person, with a United Way staff member to some businesses, or some calls to some businesses. And one of the things that he had encountered was in another state, probably California or someplace like that, there was a perception that some United Way money was going somewhere that they did not approve of. But you said it, Kim, United Way Northeast Louisiana is United Way Northeast Louisiana. We know where our money goes. And there's no national mandate for you to send the money anywhere else, true?
Absolutely. It stays right here to provide services in our community.
And that's the 12 parishes of Northeast Louisiana. And 98% of all the dollars that we raise from our donors from this community stay right here in this community. That
is fantastic. Folks, that should alleviate any concerns, which I don't think necessarily that many people have, but you hear one thing or you read one thing on the internet or whatever, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Kim. So each office is independently owned and operated, can be productive, JR, okay? It's not just a way for somebody to get fined because they don't put it on their sign, okay? So thank you, Kim, for that, and what a great organization this is. Housing instability was something that existed before COVID-19, 2020, paying rent, mortgages and utilities. How big a need, how big a problem have you seen, ladies, in that? Because that's also near and dear to our hearts, obviously, is affordable housing and keeping people in their homes.
Right. Well, I think within the last year we've seen a little bit of shift of the need of what is out there. You mentioned paying rent and paying utilities, but I think we're seeing a shift in maybe more people that have home ownership needing help paying their mortgage, where they've had an effect by COVID with their employment. And these are homeowners, people that are hardworking every single day, that their business has been affected by COVID, or maybe their employment's been affected by COVID.
Absolutely. And folks, there are a lot of folks, and look, again, we're in the rental business. We have about 65 units, and there are folks who do have the money and won't pay. That's not who we're talking about, folks. We're talking about the folks who have not been able to work and get back on their feet, and we certainly are thankful for this program for them. And I know the eviction moratorium, it's not really a true moratorium unless you have been really affected, and I think this is where you guys come in. The opioid crisis, we hear about that all the time, and from my vantage point, I haven't studied the numbers, but this seems to be almost an epidemic, and it's almost taking a very big chunk of a generation, is it not?
Absolutely, and I think, all of us can probably say that we know someone personally or know of someone somewhere within our circle who's been affected by this, or maybe we've been affected ourselves within our own families. So this resource is it's a new project, the Louisiana 211 Opioid Project, partnership with Louisiana Department of Health, and families and individuals in our community who are suffering from the impact of opioid misuse can now access free resources that help them locate help and information through this project. It's so easy. I mean, we're in an age where everything is on our cell phones now, so we have this texting keyword. You can dial 211 to get information, or you can just text the word opioid to 898-211. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
No doubt. And I tell you what, that is, when I look at these 4 categories, and there's many more that we talked about, what a tremendous impact that makes, and what great timing for the opioid crisis. I'm looking at the United Way brochure, community brochure. What did 211 do in 2020? Answer 20,851 calls. 95% of callers' needs were matched with a community resource provider. That's incredible. Of those callers reached for follow-up, over 50% received assistance from community resource providers. That is phenomenal. But you know what? In my mind, that is great. What a great percentages. But I think we should probably double the calls. I think there's probably a lot of people that don't know about 211, and I think it's our job as leaders in the community to try to help you guys promote this. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right with that. So many times we run into people maybe at church or a family member or a friend that have a need, that don't know how to be helped. And if we could just pass that on, we may not know the answer to give to that person, but if you can pass calling 211 on to them, 211 will have some place that they can connect them to their need if it's available in our community.
Kim, Meghan, this even extends into the COVID-19 vaccines, does it not? Because a lot of folks don't have the transportation necessary to go get the vaccine. How big of a help has this been?
Absolutely. So we're actually partnering with Lyft now to provide Ride United vaccine rides to vaccine sites to get COVID-19 vaccines. So again, that single access point is 211. You can call 211 to find out more information about that. If you are struggling to get transportation to get that vaccine, all you have to do is call 211, and we can connect you to help.
That is absolutely phenomenal. I wish I could just go out, JR, and just let everybody in the area know about this. And what's crazy is, and this is in every aspect of life, if you're looking for something, there's always a place to go. And I'm not talking just about 211, but if you, in any aspect of your life, there's places that offer help. And one of the problems is people don't know about it. I think you folks are doing a tremendous job. And look, in 2014, I knew the United Way existed, but you got to understand, as a child growing up, I watched football all the time. So the main thing I tied United Way to was the National Football League, and I don't really watch it anymore, but back when I was a kid, I didn't really have anything else to do. So every Sunday, it was always an NFL player talking about how he was involved in the United Way, and I can't remember the exact blurb. What I should have done, JR, if I didn't have to work this week, work gets in the way of a lot of stuff. I could have got one of those old advertisements and played it, where it shows the NFL player actually involved with the kids or whoever, and then they all had some kind of little sound bite at the end. But everybody knows that the United Way's there. But in 2014, I was driving down the road, and I heard an advertisement on the radio that made the statement that if children did not achieve reading level by third grade, that is, if they couldn't read at a third grade level by the time they got there, they were in very, very bad trouble, because the state of Louisiana, in fact, planned future prison beds on the reading ability or the reading levels of the kids in the state at third grade. And I pulled over on the side of the road because it hammered me. My mother, now she read the Bible to me every night, my sister and I. Now a lot of folks are like, well, what happened? Why are you the way you are? Well, I'm still being worked on, okay, JR? That's all I can say. It doesn't say anything about being perfect, does it? I know you are, but I hadn't quite got there yet. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is education was hugely important to my mother, who hammered the point home. You got to do your homework. You got to do this. You got to do that. My dad basically threatened me within an inch of my life to finish school because he had not. So I finished at Tech in '82. But everyone doesn't have that motivation at home. And I thought to myself, these are third grade kids. If I can sit down and read, I usually don't do this. I don't like to tell people what I do. And folks, I'm not doing this to pat myself on the back, because I'm not, because it's the biggest blessing. One of the biggest blessings I've ever had in my life is to go to Linville School for 1 hour a week since 2014. I can't tell you what it's done for me, but to know that you possibly help somebody. Plus, I love everybody. They all know me at Linville now. That's a shock, isn't it? But I've been going since 2014. Lisa VJ and Vicki Fuller and all that group does a great job. Michelle Salser, what kind of job has she done at RLS, Read, Learn, and Succeed? Folks, if you get a chance, 1 hour a week, go sit and read with a child. You read to them, they read to you. You make a friend for life, but you help some. I'm telling you, you you can't put a monetary value on the joy that brings. But what kind of job, ladies, has Michelle done with that?
Michelle has done an awesome job. Last year was not easy for a volunteer reading initiative, and she was able to take Read, Learn, Succeed and pivot it just a little bit so that the children still had their volunteers, they still got their books that they were used to getting, but yet they weren't having the one-on-one because of COVID restrictions, and still felt loved. Last year we did Pen Friends. Over 1,071 letters were exchanged with local children at our partner schools to let them know what's going on, to give them a mentor, give them someone to talk to. But we also put over 5,000 books into their hands so that they could have their own home library.
And that was in spite of these COVID restrictions.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And look, this is a personal story, and folks, this is one of the reasons I'm passionate about United Way. My son and I were in the woods during the summer. He was getting the stuff ready for deer season. I was sitting in the truck. It's too hot to get out there and work. But so Michelle called me, and the reception's not too great, so I had to get to a spot and stop. And we talked about what we were going to do. And you're exactly right, Kim. Every month we sent a letter to our child we were going to read to. My guy was a guy named Owen Bates, and I couldn't wait to meet him. We finally got to meet him. We had a deal where we kind of did a little drive-through. And I got to meet Owen, but I tell you, this has been a blessing. Not only, I think I've been more blessed by it. I'm sure all the readers out there would agree with me. And I made some great friends. And when you see the impact, the books going into the hands, we go to that book fair at the end of the year where they have the celebration, and the kids get like 20-something books, and you get to go help them pick them out. And we're not supposed to bring them treats and everything. I'm not going to say that I do or don't, but Michelle pretty much gives me a waiver on that kind of stuff. So, I shouldn't have said that.
No, you shouldn't have.
That's I can neither confirm nor deny any of those things. But I tell you, it's been a joy, and knowing that you may help. If we help one person, what could that do for generations to come? And that's what the United Way is all about. There's other after-school programs you have. Food for school children. Don't you have like a backpack program or something, or am I talking out of turn here?
You're not talking out of turn. That's a partnership that we have with the Northeast Louisiana Food Bank, as well as the Lincoln Parish Hunger Task Force. So, yes, you're right. There's more than 1 in 4 children are struggling with hunger, and the backpack program gives them food to take home on the weekends and in the summer to be able to help with that food insecurity.
I can't fathom a child not having enough to eat. It just, man alive, what a tremendous job. Now, I know Michelle Saucer is involved also in we're not going to get too much into this, but the airship project is a way to help folks to clear title to property they inherit. And I'll say this, I've been in the business for 30, 40 years. Debbie and I have bought 1,000 properties probably and sold them, and I've sold a bunch of properties for other people. And I can tell you, from experience, most of the problems is ignorance. I don't mean ignorance in the fact that people aren't smart. They just don't know how to get title cleared, and I hope I can at some point get involved in that with Michelle. There would be nothing better than teaching people out, if nothing else, sell the property or buy out their heirs one way or the other to keep other people from getting it. So, and a lot of that is there's a lot of misconception in the media about how that happens, but I would love to talk to some folks. And in fact, I had a visitor a couple weeks ago that was going to buy undivided interest from someone, but after we visited and they talked to an attorney, we thought that was not the way to go. And I felt good. Sometimes we sit and meet with people in our business, and we tell them not to do what would make us money, but it's best for them. And, that's okay. That works out. So I guess we need to take a really quick break. When we come back, I'm going to turn it over to Meghan and Kim, and they're going to tell you how you can get involved.
As the old saying goes, there really is no place like home. From tiny milestones to the unforgettable moments that define our lives, it all starts with a home. And there's no one more trusted than Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate to help move into the right home or move on from your current home. Expect better. Start by calling or contacting
Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Veranda Realty, 325-1869.
An independently owned and operated franchise.
Considering a career in real estate? The Burke Baker School of Real Estate and Appraising can get you on your way to a new career. Burke Baker has been a certified instructor since 1977 and has been the owner of the Burke Baker School of Real Estate and Appraising since 1981. Quality instruction, competitive pricing, and an overall rating second to none. The Burke Baker School of Real Estate and Appraising, 1-800-222-3295.
You got a friend in the title business, a loyal friend who's always there. You got a friend who understands your need for excellence and care. Protecting your interests, tenacious, fast, and fair. Bulldog Title Insurance, when you need us, we'll be there.
Susie Dart Loan is at Eagle Bank Mortgage right here in Monroe, Louisiana. Looking for someone to make your next home loan? Start with someone you have learned to trust over the years. Susie Dart Loan. The same service, the same experience, the same people, and all the same loan experience. Eagle Bank Mortgage processes, closes, and underwrites all of their loans right here in Monroe. Equal housing lender, NMLS 410317. All loans subject to approval, including credit approval. Some restrictions may apply. Other programs available. And program conditions subject to change without notice. Susie Dart Loan. NMLS 419413. Call Susie Dart Loan at 460-7727.
Folks, welcome back to Real Estate Radio, News Talk 105.7 and 540 KMLB, brought to you by Better Homes and Gardens, Real Estate Veranda Realty in West Monroe, Louisiana. Johnny Wade, you have been an appraiser for many years. You're a broker, you're a property manager. You and I have several projects that we have together. But, Johnny, you know, in property values, the more people whose incomes get lifted up, whose boats get, lifted up in the tide, the more people that are helped, the better property values are. Don't you think that this United Way organization has done a great job in helping people achieve their goals and basically get out on their own? Isn't that better for the community and the real estate business, JW?
Yeah, it definitely is, Kevin. You know, anytime you're looking at a situation, with the economics of an area, definitely the more people, can get up and be working, and the better they're doing, the more they're going to move into the housing industry, and the more they're going to, you're going to see, renters become homeowners. So it's definitely a positive thing, and when that happens, it definitely has a, positive impact on values.
I couldn't agree more, JW, and I tell you, we've talked about a lot of things. We've not even scratched the surface. Both Meghan and Kim have promised they'll come back. I'm thinking once a quarter. We want the word to get out that there's volunteer opportunities available. Meghan, Kim, I'm going to turn the most of the rest of the show. Now, when you see JR do this, you're okay. It's a 2-minute warning. When you see him do one, cut it off and kick it back to me. No, I'm just joking. I mean, because look, he's cut me off in mid-sentence before. But ladies, I want you to tell the folks, how can you get involved?
So we have so many opportunities. In addition to just the Volunteer United opportunities, we have giving opportunities. So, last year we partnered with 165 companies here in Northeast Louisiana during our annual workplace campaign. If your company is not running a workplace campaign, this is a wonderful opportunity for you and your employees to make a difference through corporate giving. And payroll deduction. It's a really great opportunity to volunteer and give to the causes that matter the most. But we also have leadership giving. So if you're if you would like to be a residential giver and you want to, give a gift outside of a workplace campaign, you can do that. We have leadership giving societies. You can contact us to find out more information about that. Again, so many opportunities to get involved.
Meghan, that's amazing. I know last year was a challenge, COVID 2020. We're hoping for a huge surge because a lot of businesses hurt last year. They didn't have money to give, but what a tremendous challenge. I'm hoping for much more this year. I'm really looking forward to going on some calls in the next few weeks with Allison Sager. And, folks, I can't tell you, Kim Lowery and Meghan Jones, Janet Durden, Michelle Saucer, Michelle Toller, and I know I'm leaving some people out, but all you folks that work at the United Way, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing for the community. You motivate us to give our time and money to help those who need it, and we're lifting these people up, hoping that it will help them. So how do we get in touch with you guys? I keep saying you guys. How do we get in touch with the United Way?
So you can, again, that single access point, you can call 211 to learn how to get involved, start a workplace campaign or residential giving. You can contact Kim or myself. You can contact Janet even directly. So just call our office, call 211. We'll get you in touch with the right person.
Meghan, Kim, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, folks. We love you. We'll see you in 7 short days for another show. This is Real Estate Radio on News Talk 105.7 and 540 KMLB.
Your Fox News update happens now.
And it's going to happen
on News Talk 105.7 and 540 KMLB Monroe.
It's an okay monthly jobs report. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The Labor Department says more jobs were created last month than in April, and the unemployment rate is down.
559,000 jobs were created in May, a modest gain rebounding from a hiring slowdown, but lower than the 650,000 some economists had predicted. The nation's unemployment rate declined to 5.